Hey, church family. I wanted to welcome you to my work from home office. This is where all the magic happens. Clearly, you do not need an inspiring space in order to write a sermon. I wanted to explain something that the pastoral staff will be doing over the next few days, and that is that we'll be uploading a daily word of encouragement, a daily pastoral word. The reason being that there is so much that's going on. There is so much that we are feeling and experiencing, and to push that all off into Sunday feels so far off, and it really feels like too much to do in a single day. And so we wanted to create a space for us to think about this and to kind of fellowship together and to consider things daily rather than just on a single day of the week on Sunday. And so the question that I wanted to start off with, or that I could start off with, would simply be, how are you doing? How are you feeling? How are things going? And that's a very generic question, and it usually elicits a very generic response from us, which is, I'm doing fine, I'm doing good. And that's kind of the end of the story. But instead, the question that I want us to begin with this week is to ask that good old Wesleyan Methodist question, which is, how goes it with your soul? That was kind of the centerpiece question of the Wesleyan bands or the small groups that people would do life together with. And what I like about that question is that it really forces us to engage with our feelings more thoughtfully and intentionally. That we don't simply say, oh, good, fine. But we have to, it's such a strange and off-centered question that we have to ask the question, wait, what does that mean? How does my soul feel right now? What does it mean for my soul to go? And so we have to be much more thoughtful about our internal space, about how we feel and what we are thinking about. And I think that's really helpful for us to do. But the other thing that I love about that question, that it goes beyond simply how we feel and invites God into how we feel. That it's not just raw emotion that we're sharing about, but that we're inviting God to be with us in that space and in that emotion. For example, some of us, I'm assuming many of us, feel a good amount of grief or anger even at the same time. And we could feel that, but when we invite God into that grief, that becomes lament, and lament is different. Lament has directionality. Lament goes to God. It points to somewhere and it goes somewhere. And that's what I think that question does. It allows our emotional space to be for God to be there, to be alongside of how we feel. Some of us might feel fine or even optimistic, but when we invite God into that optimism, it checks us, and it asks the question, why are you optimistic? Because everything's going fine for you, or because your hope is in the Lord? Do you have hope or optimism? And so that is really the question that I want us to reflect on. Not simply, how you doing? How are you feeling? But to ask that deeper question, how goes it with your soul? Ask that tougher question and invite God into that space, then it might be transformed into something more purposeful and intentional. We're with you guys. We're all trying to figure out what's going on, but we want to let you know that we'll make it through together as a church body. Blessings on you all.